I live in Gush Etzion, which is where the Path of the Patriarchs is located. And it's so special to be here because there's so much physical evidence that proves the historical authenticity of the Bible. From Be'er Sheva, which was also one of the hometowns, maybe even the main hometown of Abraham. Leading north from there, you have Susia. Susia is an amazing, amazing community that flourished during the Byzantine period, roughly 300 CE to all the way to roughly about 1200 CE. Just north of that, you have Hebron. How can one come to Israel and not visit Hebron? If you're on a spiritual trip to touch the roots and the core of our spiritual history, the essence of it, there's no better place to go to than Hebron. This is where the patriarchs and the matriarchs are buried. It is the original holy city. It was the original capital of Judea, of Israel. When David will become king, his palace is located in Hebron for the first 7.5 years before he moves to Jerusalem. I mean, Hebron, that is a place everyone should visit. In fact, the oldest active building in the entire world is the building that sits on top of the cave in which our ancestors are buried in. It was built 2,000 years ago by King Herod, this same king who built the Western Wall and the Temple Mount, that second temple. So when we think about the temple, we usually think of what Herod's temple looked like. Obviously, the Jews have been going there for millennia, 4,000 years. Later on, the Christians during the Byzantine period, they're going to build a beautiful church on top of that building. The Muslims are going to come here. When the IDF was able to liberate the city of Hebron and once again bring it back to Jewish rule, to Jewish sovereignty, we were able to return to our holy city. And thank God more and more Jews are moving to Hebron and the Jewish community continues to grow. All through the generations, on the 3 pilgrimage festivals, people would travel this path on their way to Jerusalem. And those 3 primary pilgrimage festivals were Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot. So these millions of Jews traverse this road that we are walking along right now in order to arrive to Jerusalem. They would need to know how far they are from Jerusalem, how much longer they need to walk. When the Romans conquered the land of Israel and took over, they didn't do anything new. They took what existed and made it, well, some people will say better, but definitely bigger. And the Path of the Patriarchs is no different. They came here, they broadened the road, they even paved the road. In some sections you can see the original paving stones that the Romans left behind. But one of the things the Romans were excellent at doing was mapping out their empire, the roads, and the distances between the cities. And they would mark these distances with mile markers. Now, a Roman mile is almost exactly the same mile that people would use, say, in America. So this marker noted that we were 12 miles from the city of Jerusalem if we were heading from Hebron, which is just south of here. So just imagine pilgrims, people from various ethnicities walking along this path during Roman times, or maybe even with horse and carriage, would see this mile marker and know they had 12 miles to go until they arrived to the holy city of Jerusalem, which at that time, unfortunately, was ruled by the pagan Romans. Another historical event that takes place along the Path of the Patriarchs is the story of Hanukkah. Not the ultimate redemption of Jerusalem, but one of the famous battles that takes place right here, when an entire Greek legion is approaching Jerusalem, which is only 12 miles away. And when they came, they had with them war elephants, these massive beasts. And when the Jewish fighters saw them, they thought, how will it be possible to kill one of those? Alazar, seeing the fear in the minds and the hearts of these Jewish warriors, took it upon himself to charge against not just any of the Greek elephants, but rather the one that was decked out in golden armor. Realizing that this must have been the general, the leader of the troops. And he runs up to him and he takes his sword and he stabs the underbelly of the elephant, killing it instantly. Unfortunately, the elephant falls on top of Alazar, killing him immediately. But this proved to the Jews who were fighting against the Greeks that we could be victorious, and victorious we were. To honor Alazar, the nephew of Judah the Maccabee, the village you can see behind me was named after him. Another promising Jewish village here along the path of the Patriarchs.
Hey, we hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with somebody you love.